Right then, YouTubes, this Golf R is all prepped up now and masked up and ready to paint. Give you a quick look. So yeah, we're going edge to edge on this colour. It didn't look too bad on the colour chip, but I've done a scan, took an image off the wing, and then it picked the darker shade, and I've just recalculated it just to improve the shade a little bit, and it looked okay on the screen. So I'm not going to spray it out, I'm just going to do it. So yeah, we're doing the bonnet, and we're gonna wet the bonnet with dark grey because it's a little bit transparent, some of these blues. And I try to sort of copy factory primer, so if I break through on a job that I'm painting, when I'm rubbing it down, I look at the colour that they've put on at the factory for their undercoat, and try to get my undercoat the same colour. Sometimes on the system it will give me an indication of a colour to put on, like a light grey or something, as an undercoat. But yeah, most of the time I just try to match whatever colours under the base coat on the car if I've got any breakthrough. So yeah, I'm going to wet the bonnet, dark grey, and I'm going to wet the bumper as well. And then it's all uniform, one colour, and it should help with coverage. So I've got a few breakthroughs on the bonnet. On the edges are sharp, these lines, a few little breakthroughs, and I had to sort of chip it up a bit more, put a few bits of dolphin glaze on top of the primer so it seal all that in as well. So wet the bonnet, wet the front bumper, and then our base coat and lacquer it. So I'm going to be using the CC gun again that Simon Allen from Satajet UK has lent me as a demo gun. So I'm going to clear coat it with that, with the CC gun. This is a substantial size job to try it out on, flat on the bonnet and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to use that CC gun again for the clear coat. And this time I'll be using, the last time I used it was with CX4, the first time I used it. So I'll use it with a CC9, Mipa CC9 Clear coat. And then this should be quite a good test for me on that gun, see what it's really like. But first impressions of it, I'm really liking it. So I'll get the wet mixed up, get that on the bonnet and the bumper, and while that's drying I can get the colour mixed. that's all the base coat on there. So I let the overspray clear out of there. Then I put it on a bake. I put it on a bake cycle for probably about 15 minutes it is. But I put it at 45 degrees. So once the heat starts getting in the booth, I'll go in there then with the blowgun, with the air dryer, and catch all that nice warm air coming through the booth filters, and I can blow that across all the base coat then, and it definitely speeds up and helps with the dry through. So I'll get it on bake and start drying it. The Golf all base coated and drop coated and blended out, and I just went round and done a couple of little touch-ins in the blend areas. So I'm going to mix the clear up. So clear I'm going to use is Mipa CC9 with a normal hardener, HS25 and 5% thinner, and I'm going to be using Satajet 5500 CC. So this was lent to me by Simon Allen at Sata UK, and I've had one go of it so far, and I really liked it. So I'm really looking forward to using this gun. I think it definitely atomizes a bit finer and puts a flatter coat on, whereas my RP with a 1.2, this has got 1.3 CC setup, so it's sort of similar to an eye pattern, but I don't think it's actually it's a true eye pattern on this. It's unique, this setup for this for clear coat. It's not like your other standard setups just changing 1.2 1.3. This is actually a re-engineered setup. So I think it's a 1.275 roughly. Probably don't quote me on it, but it's under 1.3 size wise, and it's more of an eye pattern than an O pattern, but it's not quite an eye, so it's quite unique. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this job, especially painting a bonnet with it. See how it goes on. The last job I done, normally on my 1.2 RP, normally I would I normally have the fluid control in 3/4 of a turn from resistance when I can feel it on the trigger. Normally the indicator's at the top then on my fluid control, so I'll go 3/4 in from that for the first coat, and then I wind it back to half a turn in for the second coat. But I sort of done that with this gun. I was using CX4, but they're similar the way they go on, CX4 and CC9, and I found it didn't get enough material on there, so I've gone full bore. So I'm just going to go full bore with this, so full fluid, full fan and 2 bar, and see how we get on. that's the Golf R all painted, and it all come out okay. So yeah, I'll give you my opinion on the Satajet CC Clear Coat gun. Yeah, I really like it. It's different. I really like it. It definitely puts a finer, flatter orange peel on there. So you have to go a little bit slower. So that, you know, takes a bit of getting used to. But you know, a bit slower, you've got a little bit more control over it. And yeah, I like it. But the 1.20 that I've got on my other Sata, my X5500, yeah, you can quite easily overload, even with the fluid control wound in half a turn or 3/4 of a turn. In blend areas, you can. I'm quite a heavy painter. Me, I do put a wet coat on there. So yeah, I am a heavy painter, and I'm used to Satas. I've used Satas all my career, and they always used to say, you know, that they used to have the nickname of stodgy Satas. That's what the people with the Waterbase guns used to say anyway, in body shops I worked at. But yeah, so I'm used to, so the O pattern on a Sata is like a traditional Sata setup. So the I pattern has changed that, has made it more like the Iwaters and the Waterbase guns. So people that maybe have gone over from Waterbase or Iwata or one of those makes of gun, if they've gone over, then the I pattern would suit them more because of what they've been used to. So yeah, I'm always used to the O pattern on the clear coat anyway. I've got an I pattern on my base coat gun. So yeah, it would take me a couple more goes to sort of hone in on it. There's a couple of, you know, I put on the second coat, I sort of went on, sort of adjusted my speed a little bit, and then looked, and I like a bit more product on there. So but it does save you, it does save a bit of product, I think. It may be minimal, but it does, it's definitely putting less on, which is good. I like the combination of both, because I like to try and match OE finishes. You know, BMWs are quite thick and chunky, Mazdas and the Jap stuff is real tight and fine orange peel, and I do adjust my O setup to try and cater for that. And being a heavy painter like I am, I do put a heavy coat on. I've had a lot of runs in my career, I tell you. But yeah, so I have to make adjustments for that type of car. You know, like a Jap car, a Mazda or something like that. They've got real drawn in tight orange peel on those. So I do make adjustments, and it's hard to try and replicate that sometimes with the O. But the I would. The CC would definitely be easier to replicate that type of finish. But yeah, this is my second go on it. I really liked it. It's slower. I could easily get used to that. And yeah, it definitely puts a flatter coat on there and definitely more control. But you know, those features aside, you know, it's the same sort of gun really. But I thought I'd give you my opinion on the comparisons, and I've got it for a few more days yet, and I've got a couple more jobs that I can do with it, and I'll keep saying, if I find anything else different with that gun, I'll keep, you know, I'll keep saying about it. But that aside, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? Just it'd be nice if they'd done a base coat gun to match it, because I like having matching pairs. But we'll see, they may do. That's the first generation. I suppose they're probably going to bring out other editions of it, which that'd do my head in, because I want them. But yeah, I really liked it. Being a heavy painter like I am, it definitely needs, I prefer it full fluid on that, whereas I do restrict the fluid on my other one, on my 1.20. I do restrict the fluid, so I'm definitely full fluid on that one, which is good, because I don't have to sort of change settings really. I probably would have that on most jobs, full fluid and full fan. But yeah, it's really good. Well, I'm gonna go and get the Golf on bait now, and once it's all cured and that, we can get it all fitted up fitted up and polished, we've got to do a 3-stage machine polish over the rest of the car as well. So that'll be the next stage. Right then, YouTubes, that's the Golf R all finished, and it all went okay. It's all fitted back up and polished. I'll give you a quick look round it. We pretty much got all them chips on that bonnet, as you would have seen in the preparation stages. There was still quite a few chips once we primed it, and you know, there's normally 1 or 2 that you don't catch unless you're sort of taking all the paint off of the bonnet to prime it. But yeah, we got them. I can't see any that I missed or that sunk. Same with the bumper, we got all those. That looks nice and fresh now. And colour went in okay. I spectroed the colour and I just recalculated one of the shades that it picked for this colour code to improve it. They didn't want to blend the wings, so we got it the best we could, and it's pretty decent. It looks okay. And then the rest of it, it's all come out okay. The quarter panels look okay. Quite pleased with that, the finish that I got from that Satajet CC gun. All blended in okay. And then we polish the rest of it. So we give the rest of it a heavy cut all over with a rotary machine polisher, and then we give it a medium cut over all of it with a dual action, so with a Roops Bigfoot, just to take out holograms. Holograms can show up quite a bit on these sorts of colours, the darker blues and stuff, and dark colours. So yeah, it all come out okay. Got a lot of the marks out. There's a lot of bird lime on the roof, and we got a lot of that out. We did flat a couple of areas where it was quite aggressive, but we caught most of them. There's still a little faint bit of markings on there, but they're quite hard to see and it takes your eye away from it. So yeah, the polish went okay as well. And yeah, the bonnet had a few little nibs in it that we flat and polished, and done the same to that, rotary heavy cut and then dual action on the medium cut, and it all went okay. We used the Kosh Chemi polishes, and a combination of the Kosh Chemi polish heads and the Roops ones. The Roops ones are a little bit better on they're a little bit less vibration on the Roops machine. So yeah, we use a combination of both, and we seem to get okay results with it all. And the polishes are really good, the heavy cut and the medium cut. They're really easy to use. We don't make a lot of mess,
and they cut well, and they are expensive, but they do go quite far. You don't need a lot of the compound on the polish heads. They seem to work better with less compound. I know it's pretty much like a lot of them, I suppose. You don't need to overload it with compound because the polish head does a bit of the cutting as well. So, but yeah, we're pleased with it, and it's all come out okay. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching it. Really appreciate it. And if there's any suggestions or things that people want us to show, yeah, just let us know. We'll see what we can do. But again, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you again in the next one. Cheers.